Hi, friends. Welcome back to Eternal Serenity Tarot. Um, let's get right into it. Today's message feels like it's going to be a message of encouragement for somebody that has really been struggling. But this chariot I'm looking at next to the Ten of Wands feels like you have really been powering through whatever it is that you've been struggling with. So I feel like we are looking at a person who's definitely been overwhelmed, overburdened, and carrying something alone. When we have the Ten of Wands, as you can see in any depiction of this card, the person is alone. This can be an experience that is extremely isolating and lonely. Like, in a really, I just keep wanting to say the word overwhelming, but it's overwhelming in a way that could, I don't know, like there could be like PTSD associated with just how overwhelming this is once everything is said and done. It could also create hyper independence. And I think that's going to be all due to the way that you manage to push forward in all of this and be a support system for yourself leaves you feeling like, why would I need anybody else? Like, I just got it out the mud completely on my own. Or that's where you've been at thus far. It's already created the hyper independence. Now, I was wondering if we were looking at somebody that's maybe decided to start a business for themselves. I'm sorry, it's just a little ant that just distracted me. Um, yeah, I don't know if this is starting a business on our own and we do it completely from our own funds. Like, we have no investors. We can't get any sort of loans. We just do it straight out of our pockets. And maybe funding this business and putting all your money into it means that like another area of your life suffers. Like, maybe it's some days that you don't eat, you go to sleep hungry, but it feels like everything that we're doing now is because we're aware that after a certain point, we're not going to be this overwhelmed anymore. So if this is a business, this is like we're aware that at some point we're going to be able to employ people. Like, if we keep this up, we do our due diligence, we stay committed, we grind it out, and we stay focused, at some point we're going to be able to get assistance. And this isn't going to be like this anymore. I was kind of getting the example of when you're trying to carry, like, you have a whole bunch of things you have to carry. Like, let's say you have to get groceries out of your car and you're trying to get all the groceries in the house at one time. So you try to carry like all these different bags. Or I'm getting two examples, but I'm gonna get to the second one in a second. It's kind of the same thing, but anyway, um, you're trying to carry everything in at once. So not even in grocery bags, because a lot of places don't even offer bags anymore. So this is like you're coming back from the grocery store and nothing is in bags. It's just all in your car, unbagged, and you're trying to get each thing and you manage to carry it all, but it's like on the way to your door, you get like right in front of your doorstep and then you drop one thing and you're like, oh, okay, whatever. And as you go to pick it up, like, you drop another thing, and as you go to pick that thing up, three more things fall, and you're trying to like maneuver around and pick everything back up, and next thing you know, everything is on the ground. And that's where that overwhelm really starts to seep in, and you might literally just sit on the ground and cry. You just have an entire breakdown. But it feels like after that breakdown, we just get right back up because we're aware that like nobody's coming to save us. Um, Whatever this is, it just feels like there's a recognition that you have to do it on your own. Because it just has to be done. So I don't know what this is. It doesn't have to be a business, but whatever it is, it's just something that we're trying to keep up by ourselves. Now, if this were in a relationship sense, this could be like a relationship that there's I was trying to figure out how this would work in a relationship sense, but it could just be that like somebody has to do more of the work or do more work than the other person has to do for some reason. So maybe let's say some of you guys are married or you're in a relationship, and maybe one of you, like you're both working, but one of you loses your job and then the other person ends up having to take on two jobs just to make like ends meet for both of you guys. um that can be overwhelming if it feels like you can't get support because this other person literally is having trouble finding work, they can't get a job. So you really are locked into having to maintain these two jobs to keep everything afloat. I just saw 5:55 on my timer. Um, so there's definitely a transformation involved in all of this. And it could be something that happens like literally overnight. Like you could really be struggling with something and then you wake up and the next day out of nowhere there's a solution to your problem or there's help coming in from someplace and it feels like maybe it's an unexpected source. Because we have 10 of wands, 10 of cups, so we get our happy ending but we had to bust our ass to get it is what it feels like. I heard it is damn deserved too, so Spirit said listen, okay. It's giving we are the champions. No time for losers because we're the champions. Um, we have the sun after the 10 of wands, which is absolutely a new beginning. It just feels like something opens up. Like it could literally feel like every day of your life has just been doom and gloom and scary, like anxiety riddling, maybe because you've been doing everything with no support and you've been trying to like keep the faith and be like, you know what, like it's not always going to be like this. You know what I was getting to? I was getting tomorrow from Annie. So yeah, it feels like you've had to remain hopeful about the fact that at some point things are going to be different, even though I think there was like a lot of uncertainty on how, you know, spirit, the universe, your team was going to be able to come through and deliver that to you. um we have the page of swords in reverse, so you were powering through but it was like skeptically, you know. um on the bottom of the deck we have the four of cups in reverse, which feels like a second wind. um it's either a second win or it's a second chance or a revisitation of something. I was getting like depreciation, but even though I was hearing that word, this energy was feeling like where somebody is looking at something as quite the opposite. So they're not looking at either you or you're not looking at them, or if this isn't about a person, this is an opportunity. Although I do kind of think with this 10 of cups that this is related to a relationship. um Ooh, look at that. Knight of Swords coming in. So somebody's coming through with something. They have something to say. Um, oh, diamond in the rough. Or like something slept on. So there's an awareness of the value in something and the fact that it is not going to depreciate. It's actually going to gain so much value over time. But it feels like this is something that's like hidden away. It's kind of giving Cinderella. I'm not even gonna hold you. But there's just a recognition. I don't know. The star is not out here, but if this isn't like fame, then this is some sort of like public notoriety. Or if you guys are running a business, then maybe this is somebody that wants to come in and invest. Or if this isn't a business, you have an idea or something that you want to like patent or you want to trademark. And somebody sees the value in that and they're like, you know what? This might not have caught on just yet. 10:10 on my clock. Which is funny because we're looking at 10:10. So thank you for that confirmation, Sid. Um, they're coming in early. So, oh my God, so many things. This is all over the place, but I feel like this energy is just like it's kind of overwhelming in itself, but in a really good way. It's like this 10 of Wands and the 10 of Cups feels like the 10 of Wands has been so like overpowering, and it's like weighing you down and pushing you down to the ground. And this 10 of Cups is the thing that like boosts you back up, which is probably why we were getting that second wind energy. The Sun card in this reading feels like vitality. It feels like new life, new something, new passions, new sparks. I don't know. But it feels like the sky just opens up out of nowhere after it's rained for 30 days and 30 nights. Um, oh, I got excited a minute ago because I was thinking about in high school. I had my U.S. history teacher. He told us that before Snapple popped off and became Snapple as we know it today, um, he had the opportunity to invest in it. But when it was brought to him, he didn't really like see the hype. Like he didn't really get it. He was like, "Nah." And at that time, Snapple had only just been founded. And if it hadn't been founded, like again, nobody knew about it yet. And he expressed like regretting that he didn't get in where he could. So for some of you guys, because I did accidentally flip the deck up for a minute and we were looking at the 4 of Cups. For some of you guys, there are going to be people that they don't get it now, but they're not going to get it until they see other people getting it. But I do feel like there is somebody swooping in, knight in shining armor, Prince Charming, is swooping in because they see it. They're like, everybody else, and maybe they didn't before. Because to me, the 4 of Cups in reverse implies that at some point we did not see the value in this thing. We had to learn to appreciate it. We had to learn to be grateful for this, whatever this is, maybe you, and to stop taking it for granted. Yeah, so let's get some more cards. We're using the Deviant Moon Tarot, by the way, today. Literally was just thought I was reading for myself as per usual, and I was like, wait a minute, somebody needs to hear this because it's so empowering. Whatever this is, it's coming to breathe life into you. It feels like it's coming to breathe life back into you, I'm hearing, because you've been depleted by something, just drained. Like, in order for us to get to the 10 of Wands, we had to be in the 9 of Wands first, which means we were like hands and knees crawling across the floor, like our we got scrapes and bruises, and we're ashy. Like, we have some sort of like wounds and scarring. That's why I said PTSD, because like after this is said and done, it's done, but it's not. Ooh, 3 of Swords. Okay, so the Sun and the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Cups. This could even be something that, although it's really happy, it's like the fact that it's so happy and positive takes a flashlight and just shines it directly on your trauma, or like a really deep heartbreak, some sort of wound that hasn't been released yet. Because I don't even think that we have an awareness that this is something that's affecting us in the way that it is. And it could be a wound you're aware of, but you might not be aware of just how greatly it affects you. And it could be something that has to do with hyper independence and a lack of having support around you. Oh, I'm over here getting ready to pull. We got like 3 more cards. All right, Nine of Cups in reverse. I'm going to take it with that Three of Swords. So I don't know if this is, wait, Nine of Cups in reverse and then the Ten of Cups. So it seems like we don't get something we want, and maybe that triggers something inside of us, but we get it in a different way or from a different person or in a different package. Or we got something we wanted, because Nine of Cups in reverse can sometimes be like, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it, you might not like it, and there is no return to sender, there's no return address. Okay, so whatever that was a lesson, because I'm hearing that there's no return address until it's done with you, which is like, ooh, kind of ominous. Spirit brings things in, kind of like, sometimes. I'm gonna tell you guys something really funny really quickly. When I first started watching tarot videos, I didn't even own a deck yet. I didn't even know that I wanted to do tarot for myself yet. When I was watching tarot videos, this was like 2020. I fell asleep one day, and as I was like waking up, I think I was kind of lucid. The death card literally like flashed, the image of the death card flashed, and I hadn't even seen or remembered seeing the traditional like Rider-Waite death card. I actually have it in front of me right now, kind of. It literally flashed, and I heard the death card just like that. Just like that. So that was kind of my introduction into tarot and like spirituality and connecting with my guides. So imagine seeing this image out of nowhere just pop, flash in your mind so vividly, and just a just boisterous, loud, booming voice like the death card. Crazy thing is that did open me up to some really deep transformation in my life. So I don't know if there's a message in there for somebody. Um, but this energy just feels really potent. Okay. Yeah. So if this isn't you that got something that you wanted and it didn't quite go the way that you wanted it to, and it doesn't even have to be a relationship. It could be a job. It could be like a financial goal, like I want to have this amount of money in my bank account. I'm not sure what exactly it is, but it feels like something that we really thought was going to be, it was going to fill a hole in our heart, but I don't think we were aware that the hole we were trying to fill was in our heart. We were looking at it as being something external to us, that if we just went out and we acquired this and we acquired that and we got this and we got that, that we would feel worthy. But also that we would feel wealthy. I accidentally flipped the deck up, and so now we have the Knight of Cups. So something is coming in. We have the Knight of Cups and the Strength card. It could be a Leo. We're actually out of Leo season right now, but it could be a Leo. I mean, I'm not sure if there are any planets that are still in Leo right now. I have not been keeping up. This Mercury retrograde, I don't even feel like a person. I feel like a hallucination, like a hologram. What am I looking at? Ooh, the Tower. So whatever this is that's coming in, it just knocks something down. And I don't know, guys. I hope that if this resonates, you guys come back and tell me what this was. We've got I'm gonna pull from Rider-Waite in a second. But we're gonna keep working with the Deviant Moon Tower before we get there. Four of Pentacles in reverse. So this is something that we need to release desperately. Oh, it feels like, because we've got the Three of Swords to the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So it feels like whatever this is that we've been holding on to, whatever wound this is, and it feels like a deep, like core wound, it stops us from being able to be giving of ourselves. Like, I'm hearing willingly. So it causes us to be closed off. And if this is maybe like a financial wound, then this is that you could have been. I don't think it's a financial wound, honestly. I think that this really is something that we're looking at that's emotional and mental, because these can be like bad memories from the past. And so bad thoughts create bad feelings. And when we get those bad feelings, we can kind of trigger ourselves, or whatever this is. Something about this feels like it's going to trigger you. Um, but I'm hearing in like the best way possible, because this really is for you. It just might not feel like that at the time. It might feel like it's something that's like it's coming at you, like a who sent you. Oh, Nine of Cups in reverse. You could feel like whatever this is too good to be true. And that's tied to a wounding. Okay. So this is, again, it's a lack of faith. And I think it's a lack of faith in people specifically. So whatever this is, it could be a person maybe that you know specifically that you're lacking faith in, but I don't even necessarily really get past energy. We are gonna pull oracle cards. I'm trying not to keep y'all here all day, but um I really want to make sure that we got this out. Yeah, this is you're not gonna like it right now, but you will at some point. Um, Eight of Wands in reverse. I feel like there's a disconnect. So maybe this is somebody you're not talking to, or somebody you haven't seen, because Eight of Wands in reverse can mean that we're restricted and we haven't been able to move as freely as we want to. Like, we don't have freedom. The energy is just not allowing for that right now. Everything is kind of stagnant and like tight, and this could even be like something like somebody's life is super structured and it doesn't allow for a lot of like wiggle room. um okay, and then we've got the Nine of Pentacles. So this is something slow, very slow. It's giving slow burn. Slow moving. I'm looking at this Knight of Pentacles, and then I'm looking at the Knight of Cups, and it's just giving languid. I love that word. I don't know if this person is coming like sauntering in, because I don't know if this is about their approach, or their approach is just representing like who they are as a person, and it's very patient. um I don't know, that made me a little like so I'm right here right along with you guys. I'm really feeling that energy of your apprehension. And I'm not seeing the Seven of Wands right now, but like I'm getting the Seven of Wands. It feels like our guard is up, but it feels like our guard is just up all the time. And it's because with this Ten of Wands, like, we got to do everything for ourselves. So part of that means I got to protect myself. So that example that I gave about like carrying, as I'm saying this, I'm getting something about like a power couple. We're gonna get to that in a second. Anyway, when I gave the example of the groceries falling, it's like maybe it's nighttime, and you're a woman and you're alone. So part of that crying is like, we only cried for a couple minutes before we got our asses up, because we were like, oh shit, like, I'm vulnerable. I have to remember that I'm alone. I can't just be sitting out here like this on my hands and knees crying and sobbing because I look like the perfect victim. Um so there's that, like, I just feel like somebody's really been trying to hold it together, and there just hasn't been a lot of allowance to really be able to cry. Like, you could not even be having the time to sit down and break down, because it's like, oh my God, like, it feels chaotic, it's busy, it's hectic, it's loud. Um, so maybe this is a job that you work at, and it's just not, the situation just isn't very forgiving. You know, you got to be like you're on your toes all the time. Okay. Ooh, Four of Wands in reverse. I wonder what that's about. Three of Pentacles in reverse. Nine of Wands in reverse. And then the Nine of Pentacles. Let's see. I mean, we just talked about chaos. So I think this is that environmental issue that we're referring to with the Four of Wands in reverse. We've got the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Whether this is a job or this is a home environment, it's like as I'm saying this, I literally feel like somebody just came and took all the energy that I had. So it's not a Wands in reverse. Like, you're tired of this. You're over it. I don't think you have anything really left to give. You could just be burnt out. But it feels like even though you are burnt out and we're having like this, you're still going because you don't have a choice. I don't know if this is because we've got a clear goal in mind and we're trying to make that goal. So if this is a job, maybe this is like a savings goal, you know? And if we're talking about a job in a home environment, this is like, I hate this job. And it asks for every single last emotional cent that I have. And I have to give all of that. But that's because I got to save money because I got to move out of this place, you know? Or this is like, I'm working a job and I'm working a really good position and I hate it here. But if I work here long enough and I get the experience, I get to take this position, go somewhere else, and maybe I get to get paid more, or I'm putting myself in position to be promoted even higher. Maybe it's that too. I'm kind of getting like a lot of different things, but this is a general reading. Yeah. So I don't really think we need to pull any more tarot. I kind of want to. You know what? I'm going to reshuffle. That's what I'm going to do. But I am going to take the 10 of Cups and I'm going to use it as like our overarching because I want to know what this is about. What is tea? I'm actually going to use, I'm going to switch to Rider-Waite. OG. All right, we got the Page of Wands already trying to come out. So I don't know if this page of, ooh, what is already sitting over here flipped up that I didn't know about? Is that the Five of Cups? Okay, so we've been disappointed. Whatever it is that's happened, like, we are still grieving. To me, Five of Cups can also be bad memories, and now we've got this Three of Swords on the bottom of the deck. So this is definitely memories of past hurt. Like, the swords are still in our heart, and so since they haven't been released, that wound hasn't closed and healed just yet. So we are walking around with an open wound right now, which is dangerous because it can get infected. Oh my God. As I said that, I heard this person is coming to suck the poison out. This one is fun today. I was not expecting that. Eight of Cups in reverse. Yeah. We're struggling. We're really struggling to move forward in something. I don't know if this Page of Wands is you or if this is someone else. Because the Page of Wands prioritizes experiences, but like pleasurable experiences and excitement and fun and things that are new, and things that evoke passion. But it's not a reliable energy because all of the pages are still finding their footing. So they're still growing up and they're in the very early stages of that process. So there's just little behaviors that are to be expected of the Page of Wands, and one of them is them not having the ability to stay put. The Page of Wands is also going to be ambitious though and very creative. And it's going to follow whatever it is that brings out that creativity. Like I said, this is just somebody who's looking for their next experience. So that's also something casual. It's not, they're not committed. They're kind of like in the wind, whatever is satiating and exciting them right now. It's kind of giving Aries energy. Might not be fun next week. And if it's not fun next week, then they're like, oh, well, where's the next fun thing? Where's the party at? Because it's not here anymore. So what's the next address? So that could be an energy that maybe you've been disappointed by, or you've been the person who's been in that energy, and maybe there's a lot of grief and loss that was suffered from during that period of your life because you have so many experiences. Because the Page of Wands is going to be really open to whatever. They're not like, it kind of reminds me of the Fool. I think all of the Wands cards remind me of the Fool, and it's because the Fool is Aries and the Wands are Aries, Leo, Sag. So we could be talking about somebody, if they're not in Aries, that have a lot of Aries placements, or they have like one of their more personal placements is in an Aries house. So that could be like their moon is in, I'm trying to think, hold on. Because I have a Gemini 7th house, but my Cancer moon is in there. So they could have an Aries 7th house and their Taurus moon is in there. Something like that. Something like that. Eight of Cups in reverse can also be like a doubling back. I don't know, because we're looking at 5 of Cups, 8 of Cups in reverse, and then the 10 of Cups. And if it's not a doubling back, then this is we've physically left something, but we have not emotionally left it. Like we're still stuck there. And that's because this is about the memories of like the disappointments and what never got to be. So let's get like 3 more, and then I'll pull a couple oracle cards, and I'm gonna let you guys go. All right, this King of I did not see all these cards fall out. We got the Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So yeah, somebody would have been, either we've developed into the Queen of Wands from the Page of Wands, or this is like, if this is another person that was in that Page of Wands and you were the Queen of Wands, then you were more mature or further along in your development than this person was. So I can see what would have attracted you to this person. It would have been seeing some of, I'm seeing 33 on my timer, seeing some of yourself in them. They could have even reminded you of like a younger version of yourself. And there could have been something about that was refreshing. You like hanging out with this person. You like having a good time with them. You like flirting with them. Maybe you liked hooking up with them. But there was no staying power. So that could have been something that you got your heart broken in. I got the star on the bottom of the deck. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe, I forgot about the power couple example that was coming through a minute ago. Yeah, I was kind of getting that you and whoever this person is that is coming in, you may not see the potential in the two of you as a couple, but this person does. And whatever they see is a big deal. Like they see you guys being on a billboard, cover of a magazine, like with a following of some kind, or just maybe being like known in your community, known locally, but definitely revered in some way. Like looked up to, maybe envied. Five of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, and there's the Queen of Wands. Six of Pentacles. Ooh. I'm wondering if this person triggered something in you where even though you weren't getting what you want, it's like because you weren't getting what you wanted, there was like a stubbornness. And so there was like a trying to give more, even though you already weren't like on the same page as this person. I'm hearing you weren't meant to be. You weren't meant to be on the same page. So I'm looking at the Five of Cups and then the Six of Pentacles. So this feels like when you get disappointed by people, maybe this is a pattern, you get disappointed by people, and this is like trying to prove your worthiness. It's really stubborn too. I'm looking at this Queen of Wands. This could also be Aries. So you guys could both have Aries placements. This could be, you could have synastry, you could have Aries synastry with this person. Maybe like a conjunction somewhere. Which again would bring a lot of ease, and that would be something that works naturally. Or maybe, no, I'm kind of getting that. There could also be like sextiles or something in your synastry with them. So stuff that just makes this feel really natural. And there's aspects of this that worked and you didn't really have to do much. Like, and that's why it was fun. It was like, oh wait, like me and this person, like we just vibe. But that's like all it was. It was just a vibe. So we got the Empress in reverse. So there's something about not properly taking care of ourselves. Or it's like we're trying to gain control over the wrong things. And Knight of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. It can be either that we're moving so slow that it doesn't even look like we're moving, or there's just a lot of like stop start. There's a lack of commitment, and so something, it like never really goes someplace because there's so much hot and cold and pulling back, and I'm here one day and then like I'm gone the next, and you just never really know. There's a lack of predictability, and so therefore there's a lack of like reliability, and therefore there's a lack of stability. All right, I'm gonna pull two more and then we're gonna get some oracle cards. So it's interesting because right now it feels like we're just looking at the past. I got the Star in reverse. There's some sort of insecurity here. It could be a physical insecurity, but this really does, again, feel like we're pointing to somebody's trauma that's tied to what they feel like makes them worthy. It's like something about this person and their lack of commitment was triggering you to be like, oh, I'm not worthy. Let me show you that I'm worthy, instead of just letting it go because you were worthy. So this is like, we thought we knew our self-worth, but we really didn't. And this taught us that. We didn't know that we were worth what we actually were, because if we did, we would have been like, oh, this person's just like for fun and I shouldn't have any expectations here. But it seems like we created expectations and we got disappointed. And then we were like, well, maybe if I do this, then you'll want to show up, or you'll want to give, you'll want to contribute. And I don't feel like that happened. Ooh, 9 of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so this is a lot of restlessness and worrying, and oh yeah, this behavior was triggering. when I said that lack of like reliability, that could have really like somebody could have flinched, because this feels like something that kept you up worrying, like worrying when this person was coming back. Ooh, I see the sun and the lovers. Lord, I don't know. Maybe this person is coming back. Because I'm still trying to figure out if this is a past person or is this somebody you knew. If somebody from the past has had a change of mind, maybe they're too late and like somebody else does come in and they just get it the first time and you're like, why would I go back to the person that didn't see it before? You didn't get the hype, you know? You didn't see the vision. And this person, they just did. I didn't have to explain it to them. I didn't have to prove myself. I didn't have to do any of that. So this might be like two people trying to get your attention. For some of you, it's not going to be. I'm really trying to figure out what's going on. And that could have been where you were at with this person. Like during the times that they weren't around, or there was just like sporadic effort. Because again, at Knight of Pentacles in reverse just feels like we're not seeing the value. So we're just kind of like, there's like a being kind of, it's like, it's really cavalier. And that probably got to be really insulting. As the Queen of Wands, ooh, I know that ego puffed up. Oh, I know that ego puffed up. But I feel like this was teaching you how to, I'm hearing how to be worthy of yourself. It's like you learn how to be your own partner. I'm hearing me, myself, and I Love Beyonce. I was listening to that a few days ago, but I'm just hearing like from now on, I'm gonna be my own best friend. So this actually, maybe it's not a relationship. This could be friendships. This could be family relationships that this trauma is tied to. It's just that whatever is happening romantically is kind of turning our attention back to that. Something we don't want to look at. Because it was really triggering, and it could have to do with this person. Maybe they're back around and it's like, oh God, this shit, I forgot about you. And something about it just like brings it all back up all over again. And maybe you thought you were over it, but something about them coming back just kind of triggers you, and you're brought back to the times that they disappointed you back when they were that Page of Wands, if they're not that anymore, because some of these people could be coming back still as that. We are ending out Mercury retrograde though, so I don't know if this is somebody that's already come back around for you guys, or if they're coming back after Mercury retrograde is over. That is interesting, because at least they didn't come back during Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde will bring back any fucking body. It don't matter. Mercury retrograde will have people that you have not seen since kindergarten following you on Instagram, you know? So yeah, this Nine of Swords, it's interesting because we got the Nine of Swords, and then I'm drawn immediately back to the Ten of Cups that we have overarching this reading. So I kind of feel like this is a new person. Like we did all that worrying about that old person, and it just feels icky. Like, I feel like you feel icky about it. Like even just me bringing it up right now, it's like, maybe you were really like down bad for this person. And you're like, God, like I can't believe I wasted my time being restless and worried about this and agonizing over it and crying over it and just letting it keep me up at night. Oh my God, I'm hearing Carisha from City Girls be like, I'm not about to be stressed and depressed about a piece of man that ain't mine. Because the Page of Wands is kind of for everybody, because they're looking for a little bit of everything. They're just like, ooh, well, what's this offering? Ooh, what's this offering? Like, and I don't think that I don't feel like it was, you may not want to hear this, but I don't feel like it was malintending. I just feel like it was a young energy. And so we should have been managing our expectations a little bit better. And I don't think you were aware of that at the time. And this could even be you. Maybe you were the Page of Wands before, and you should have been managing your expectations of yourself at that point a lot better. Okay, we're taking the Nine of Swords because it just came out. We already talked about that.